why are there so many bottomless pits in Star Wars? Like, think about it. I think there's a bottomless pit for each movie. We have in Phantom Menace, Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. I mean, Darth Maul falls into a bottomless pit. Somehow he survives that and whatever, but then we have there's like 3 fights, I think, in Revenge of the Sith that take place over a bottomless pit. Almost bottomless pit. There's like Yoda versus Darth Sidious. You've got General Grievous versus Obi-Wan, and then like the clones firing at Obi-Wan and whatnot. Then you've got like A New Hope, where Luke and Leia have to swing across a bottomless pit in a Star Cruiser, and then like also Obi-Wan moving around a Star Cruiser, and then you've got the Sarlacc pit, and then Luke falling down from Sky City in the bottomless pit, and then it's like Darth Sidious falling in a bottomless pit. I can keep going, but there's like so many bottomless pits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'd never thought of that before. I guess it's just like a movie, like a movie trope to add like suspense, because you can die if you fall down this bottomless pit.
Your fate is unknown, or you might live like Darth Maul did.
Yeah, or like Luke did.
Natty Wonders, featuring Jeremy and Bryant.
Listen, the man in the cave doesn't care who you look like. He's gonna kill you anyway.
I learned that I need to eat cats and infants, apparently.
2 of the best therapy sessions. You got D&D and Heavy Circles. Alright everyone, welcome back to Natty Wonders, the show where we show you that anyone can become a fitness influencer and anyone can become a podcaster. Are they good ones? No, definitely not. I'm your host, Jeremy Crumbo, and here, as always, I'm joined here with Bryant.
Hello. We are back at you once again on one of the greatest mediocre podcasts on the internet. I don't know what else to say about that.
No, it really is one of the most mediocre podcasts, and the thing is like, that's fine. I'm not really seeing this go anywhere, really, but it's just something I wanted to do.
Yeah, dog, we're just having a
Thanks
good
to
time.
the internet. Oh yeah, just having a good time. But thanks to the internet, anyone can make a podcast. Can anyone make a good podcast? Definitely not. And I'm not sure if we're one of those. Sorry, Bryant.
It's all right, man. I just like hanging out, talking with you.
Man, we try.
We do.
Anyway, we're gonna flip the script a little bit. We're gonna actually go to gymtok slander first.
Gymtok slander.
You ready for this?
Yes, sir. Always.
Okay. So we don't really have too many memes, but we have one that's actually been going pretty viral. Never seen this girl before, but her video was kind of blowing up, and I just wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on it because I feel like it's pretty relevant, and I do have some things to say about it.
All right.
But positive things.
Okay.
All right.
I have to walk to make up for eating this pizza for dinner. Literally nowhere at all, because I don't have to earn my meals today. I earn my right to eat simply by existing, and so do you.
All right. So short, simple video gets to the point. Now, the thing is, the comment section of this video actually was kind of mean, kind of rough, I would say. A lot of guys are saying L take, L opinion, things like that. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts on like first impressions. What do you think about this?
I think that like the specific thing that she said, like exercising to make up for eating poorly, is like like that is a toxic like mindset, right?
Yeah, I think that's the base of like most eating disorders.
Yeah, and
so I think what she's saying is
exactly right. And I don't know where she would take that, like if she would conflate that onto like exercise, like, oh, I don't need to exercise because, but I'm not gonna put words in her mouth there, because that's all she said. So like, it definitely is true. Like, you don't need to make up for
okay, so there's this hormone or chemical that's released into your system when you're like hungry, when you don't have enough calories. It's called ghrelin. Oh wait, I think I misspoke.
Gremlin.
It sounds like that. It's pretty much what this hormone does. It tells your body that like, hey, you need calories because calories are good and they help you survive, kind of thing. So if you're on a diet and you eat one cheat meal, I personally don't call them cheat meals. I call them caloric dense meals. Okay, you just had a calorically dense meal, and if you eat one pizza for dinner, like one night during your diet, it's not gonna completely ruin your gains. It's not gonna completely ruin all of your progress, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So this idea of like, and people that think that burning calories by like doing like cardio is
Womp
going
womp.
to stop fat loss, like that's just not gonna work. I'm sorry, you're gonna hate exercise because it's
Yeah.
just not gonna work. You're gonna spend 2 hours, burn like 100 calories by running on the treadmill or walking, and you're gonna be like, well, what I just had for dinner was 2,000 calories, so what the heck?
Yeah, you're not gonna see that
So
progress because that's not how you like lose weight.
exactly. But you want to know how you can lose weight? This is actually a really cool study. So a study shows that if you do 45 minutes of exercise a day, like minimum, bare minimum, and you mix strength training, endurance training, and flexible training and mobility, then if you don't change your diet at all, your lifespan will increase by 10 years,
My goodness.
right? So just doing right, and start strength training first off. I'd say that would be my best advice because putting on muscle just raises your basal metabolism so that you can just eat more naturally. Like if your maintenance just by doing nothing is 2,000 and you put on a little bit of muscle, congratulations. Now you can eat 2,100 calories and you can sit around and do nothing and eat whatever you want.
Hype.
I wouldn't say eat whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause, everyone's body types are different, similar, but I had one of the most caloric dense meals of my life, the Burger King Bacon King, which is
Oh
2,000, like, 100 calories,
my
like, the
goodness.
entire meal, and you wanna know how much weight I gained?
How much?
Nothing, and
Yeah.
I'm on a bulk. So,
Dang.
like, w one caloric heavy meal is not gonna destroy any progress, nor if you're like me, have a fast basal metabolism, it's not gonna help either. So like
Mm-hmm.
I just got to eat more.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth? Yeah, I went to Chili's the other day for my girlfriend's dad's birthday, and I got what was it?
Happy
The
birthday.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Happy birthday. And I what did I get? I got the. It was like one of the burgers, but it had like pulled pork on it and bacon. And that was like 1,700 calories for just like the burger. And that was hype. But again, yeah, I haven't gained anything from that really.
Yeah. It's like you're not gonna gain much from like just one meal. There was also another video. I wish I could find it, but it was a guy that was saying like, how much do you have to eat on Thanksgiving to gain 1 pound of body fat? And it was like a ridiculous amount of food to gain just 1 pound of body fat. It
Mm,
was like two Thanksgiving meals. You had to eat the whole thing by yourself. Throw all your relatives to the ground and just go ham on the turkey or
sheesh.
whatever. If there's anything I can learn from this video is like as a whole, just like get out of that what she said where it's like you don't have to like necessarily earn to eat a caloric dense meal. Just if you're hungry, just eat it. Uh would I say like also restrain yourself if you're like on a diet? Like, yeah, like make sure to eat more nutritious stuff and not just empty calories. Um I'd also say that. But a diet doesn't have to be completely bad and negative.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that.
Personally, my diet is eat less processed food because it's getting really expensive, and just buying your own ingredients and cooking is just a lot easier. Or not easier, but financially more stable.
Yeah, no, that's
Anyway,
facts.
we've harked on that for too long. Let's go on to the next one. This one, we have fitness influencers. I feel like reinventing the wheel, and let's see what these guys have to say.
Tell me you're not still using this closey in and this pushy ID machine.
Well, what if I told you that there's one single exercise that brings you all of the same benefits, but also countless other ones? So why would you still do these things? Boom, 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 boom. Let me tell you why seated good mornings are infinitely better and should be considered a necessity for basically every human being. First of all, seated good mornings transfer directly over to your squat because they drastically improve your hip mobility and therefore improve your squat depth. But seated good mornings also strengthen your glutes and lower back massively in positions that other exercises simply don't target. Oh, and by the way, I'll provide you with fitness knowledge that most other fitness pages simply won't. And don't sleep on the seated good
Finish the
mornings.
video.
Trust.
Yes, I just did. What are your thoughts,
Um,
Jeremy? First take, I guess.
First off, I think the closey innie and the pushy outie machine, I think those are really good isolating exercises.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they're also kind of ones that I have neglected because I look sus whenever I do them.
Sheesh,
Like, there's no normal way to do that exercise.
no, absolutely not. My gym doesn't even have those, so I have to like kind of make up some free weight stuff to do it. So
Then
maybe
maybe
these
this
good
is it,
mornings are a
but
good
just
idea.
by
Yeah.
I don't know, so I haven't tried them yet, but just looking at them, I can just see a lot of um back movement, a lot of lower back movement,
Yeah, I don't like it that
and I'm
much.
confused how this like like because those muscles right there aren't even pushing on anything.
Yeah, it's like it's not even
I mean, it's,
for the people that like didn't see it. You know, when he talks about the closey innie and the pushy outie machines, it's the what's it called? The hip abductor machines, right?
hip
Um,
abductor, yeah.
so those the ones where you squeeze with your thighs and then you push out, those are the hip abductors, and then it's not the inductors. I don't remember exactly what they're called. Um,
Yeah, hip abductor, hip inductor,
okay, sweet. Hey, I'm good.
or the
Uh,
glute thing. I don't know.
yeah. Anyway, and so he's like doing basically a good morning, a seated good morning stretch, which is like where you lay down with your legs, or you sit down with your legs at like a 90-degree angle, and you like stretch forward with your arms, like put your back like parallel with the ground. But what he's doing is he's sitting on the bench, and he's using like a barbell or using like a cable machine to pull like straight away from himself. And so it's like the hip abductor machine, you know, you're actually like using the muscle to push something or pull it. But when he's doing the seated good
Mhm.
mornings, his legs are not moving. So
No, yeah.
it's a completely different exercise. It's more of a stretch, really, than like an exercise, because his legs are just like helping to resist the weight that he's pushing or that he's pulling, right? And so his legs, sure, his hip abductors are working, but they're it's a completely different exercise.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it isolates like how the machine does it. Now,
Yeah.
would I suggest these for maybe a warm up? Because he does say like it's good for it transfers directly over to squats. So
Yeah,
I'd say it's probably a good warm up.
hip mobility is great.
But
That's
like,
one of the things that's like really
yeah,
hard to do.
yeah, like go lightweight on that, and then I think you'll be ready for your first set of squats. But really, I'm just like I'm gonna as sus as it might be, I'm gonna use the hip abductor machines. Maybe fellas, you can pull some girl. Nah, just kidding. We all know that you're not talking to girls at the gym. Nice soundboard.
There you go.
And then we have more gym influencers that are trying to reinvent the wheel, like this guy here.
Sweet.
Says POV, you discover the best chest workout for each arm action.
Oh my goodness. What? Why?
Congrats, man. It looks like the pinch plate again. I hate the pinch plate.
Also, congrats. That already exists with just like 2 dumbbells and laying on a bench.
Or literally just change the bench so that you could just use the Smith machine how it is supposed to work.
Yeah, like
Just
that's
do the bench press normally.
yeah, exactly.
You missed it, pal. You missed it by this much.
We're this close to greatness.
No, okay, but there's like this myth in the fitness and in the gym where it's like people will sacrifice range of motion and kind of like just pinch off the muscle so that it feels like they're getting a nice pump, but really they're just cutting off oxygen to that muscle and it just kind of like swells up with blood.
You mean like putting a band on your arm or something like to like cut off like blood flow? What do you mean by pinching
Yeah.
off?
I mean like what he's doing here. So it's like the range of motion is kind of garbage.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like his chest looks like it's activating, but really it's just he's just pinching his shoulders or his arms together and it just like squeezes his chest and makes it so that more blood just rushes in there, but really
Mm,
you're not getting any strength from
yeah.
it. You're just getting a good pump that's just going to disappear.
Yeah, it's like close grip push-ups. It's like the whole idea of close grip push-ups is like the closer you get, the less chest activation you have and the more tricep that you have. So like close grip or not close grip, but like diamond push-ups are the closest thing you have to like an exclusively tricep workout in that like configuration. So what he's doing is like basically just a tricep workout. So it's not working out
Yeah,
the chest at
essentially.
all. I mean, like a little bit, obviously, but not that much. Like
He's not going to get strength from this.
no, and it's definitely not the
He's gonna
best
get a good
chest
pump.
workout at like for anything really. He's just gonna get pumped.
Well, he said for contraction. Yeah, it's just for a good pump, just for looks. I don't know. He missed it by that much. He just should have switched the bench around and then
Just
done the
done
Smith
bench
machine
press.
as normal.
He's also only
Which
doing
honestly,
like 40 or 65 pounds. I didn't notice that before. But it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like, do diamond push-ups, man. Like, that's at least like 160 pounds.
yeah, honestly. And honestly, a lot of people hate on the Smith machine. Personally, I'm okay with the Smith machine. It's good for isolating
Yeah.
the chest, especially.
I don't mind it. It's
And
like it's safer too, I think, which is
mhm.
nice, especially because I go to the gym by myself. So it's like I can see that, especially too if you're using it for like a squat as well. I mean, you don't need it for squat because you have like safety bars on the squat racks. But if you wanted to use this, then yeah, I mean, it would also work.
Yeah, I would never say like, "Oh, I hit a PR on the Smith machine." I would never accept that as a
No,
PR. I'm
no,
sorry.
it's
It's a good isolating exercise, but that's
yeah,
about it.
yeah, that's about it. It's an exercise.
It,
It doesn't replace
yeah,
bench
it's good
press.
for isolating compounds,
Yeah,
I should say. So don't hate on the Smith machine, but I will hate on it if you say that you got a PR on it.
yeah, facts, facts.
It's like saying I got a PR on the leg press. All
Right.
right, moving on. Moving on. From gymtok slander, after that whole fiasco and rant, we're actually going to go on to another rant. The Star Wars rant. This is actually an episode that we had for a while that we've wanted to do. Where we talk about how we would rewrite the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Hmm.
An idea no one's ever thought of except for us. I can bet you that.
100%. Yeah, totally.
Okay, so first off, the Star Wars sequels. What would you like? What did you not like? Like, let's hear it.
All right. So, my biggest pet peeve about all of the sequels and all of the new shows, as good as the shows are at times, my biggest pet peeve is why the freak does everything take place on Tatooine? That's like my biggest pet peeve. Like George Lucas has created this like giant universe, literally thousands of like star systems and stuff, planetary
You can have
systems.
any planet
You
you
can have
want.
any planet you want, and you go desert planet. Like, bro, come on. This like it hit me even harder because I'm still watching Mando. I just started watching Obi-Wan. And obviously Obi-Wan takes place on Tatooine because it's like precursor for episode 4. So like they're both on
Mhm.
Tatooine at that point. And that makes sense, right? And like sure episode 1 happens on Tatooine because that's where Anakin's from, and like the entire reason Luke is there is because Anakin is from there and his family's. So like that makes sense. That connection makes sense, right? But like in the second movie, they spend like 15 minutes on Tatooine. And the third movie, I don't think they go to Tatooine at all. And fifth and sixth
I don't
movie,
think so.
well,
Wait,
fifth,
yeah, fifth. Oh, sorry, I got
no,
it confused.
fifth and
Keep
sixth
going.
movie, they go to Tatooine to talk to the Hutts, right? But like that's it.
Mhm.
Like they don't spend. I mean, they spend a good amount of time there, but it's like it's different, right? It makes sense because he's from there, and like stuff's going
Yeah, and
on there.
it's like, yeah, it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool, right? It makes sense. But then you have number 7 that starts on Tatooine. It's literally just copy paste of A New Hope, right? Exactly like,
Wait. Was that Tatooine? I thought it was a different junk planet.
is it? Okay, well, same difference.
I
Uh
can't remember, but it pretty much looks the same.
yeah, I know. It's a desert planet. It's boring. It doesn't matter. It doesn't stick in your imagination. It's literally just Tatooine again.
Like we can't remember if it's Tatooine or not. Like we assume it's
Yeah,
Tatooine pretty
like
much.
you failed if like I can't remember the difference between two planets because they're exactly the same. And I'm a Star Wars guy. And then freaking Book of Boba Fett takes place like exclusively on Tatooine. And Mando, I get it, space cowboy, that's cool. Make like the first half of the first season take place on Tatooine. Like, why does most of it have to take place on Tatooine? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I've been on that for like a long freaking time. We're not even getting into like the bad acting, the bad writing, the bad storylines, the bad like directing, the inconsistency from movie to movie to movie. Like, it just makes no sense. Anyway,
Here's here's actually another gripe that I have with just the entire series that it was not pointed out to me until someone like a friend of mine pointed it out. They were like, Why are there so many bottomless pits in Star Wars?" Like, think about it. There's just I think there's a bottomless pit for each movie. We have in Phantom Menace, Darth Maul versus Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. I mean, Darth Maul falls into a bottomless pit. Somehow he survives that and whatever, but then we have there's like 3 fights, I think, in Revenge of the Sith that take place over a bottomless pit, almost bottomless pit. There's like Yoda versus Darth Sidious. You've got General Grievous versus Obi-Wan, and
mm-hmm.
then like the clones firing at Obi-Wan and whatnot. Then you've got like A New Hope where Luke and Leia have to swing across a bottomless pit in a star cruiser, and then like also Obi-Wan moving around a star cruiser, and then you've got the Sarlacc pit, and then Luke falling down from Sky City in the bottomless pit, and then it's like Darth City is falling in a bottomless pit. I can keep going, but there's like so many bottomless pits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I'd never thought of that before. I guess it's just like a movie, like a movie trope to add like suspense because you can die if you fall down this bottomless pit.
Your fate is unknown, or you might live like Darth Maul did.
Yeah, or like Luke did
Oh, like Luke did.
in Sky City.
Okay, so let's actually get into the rewriting of the Star Wars sequel trilogy. If
All
you
right.
stick around this long, please tell us if you did, because we really appreciate it. Um, okay, so here's the thing. The seventh movie, I remember watching it in theaters, and I actually really liked it. And honestly, a lot of movie critics also liked it. Like, I remember having, like, a lot of good memories of it, and I even said, like, that's up there with, like, one of my favorite they nailed it with how Star Wars should feel. I did have a couple of gripes, but, like, they weren't that bad. It felt like Star Wars, and I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad they, like, filled it with they filled it in, and, like, they brought it back, and it's awesome." You remember that? Have you watched it on the silver screen?
I watched. I'm trying to remember because I watched Rogue One on the big screen, and I think I watched the ninth one on
I
the
also did like Rogue
big
One.
screen.
Rogue One was good.
Yeah, I did too. See, I didn't mind number 7. Was it The Force Awakens? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I didn't mind Force Awakens. However,
It had good setup.
yeah, it was good setup. However, the reason it was good is because it was just like a copy paste of what was already done, and I wanted them to
True.
like take a risk, like take some kind of like different direction or like introduce new things to the universe. But like in reality, like we have Time of Peace that's ended by the Sith taking over and leading an empire type organization that then rules the galaxy and everybody lives in fear. And so like if you look at the timeline of like how the like what the Star Wars timeline looks like, it's like High Republic, Empire, New Republic, First Order. It's just like the same. It's like the exact same progression of things, except just the New Republic lasted even less time than the High Republic.
And now it's the Resistance. It's back to the Resistance.
Yeah, exactly. It's like so. I don't know. I feel like Disney didn't want to like because George Lucas did a great job with especially Clone Wars of having the good guys be the guys in power, right? But
Yeah.
and that's a hard story to write because like they're the good guys, they're also the ones in power, and there's like a nuance to it because they're not perfect, and there's bad things going on, corruption. But like Disney just wanted to go with the rebels story worked. We need the rebels to be the good guys, and so they just did that again with
Yeah,
like
that's
all
true.
the same characters, or not all the same, but
Yeah,
the same characters were there.
that would be another gripe I had. Like what you said, it was too safe. I would have to agree with you there. That's actually why the rewrite that I have is actually going to be a lot more original. It's
Hmm.
going to be a little riskier.
Let's hear
Okay.
about it.
Okay, so this was actually George Lucas's original idea for like a sequel trilogy. And pretty much you've got like the New Republic, right? They won, they defeated the Empire. Darth Sidious is dead, Darth Vader's dead, and everything is like, "Oh, wow, everyone's happy." And then we have you remember the Jabba crime syndicate?
Of course.
Well, we're going to have to fill in the power vacuum in the galaxy. The Jabba crime syndicate is going to be taken over by some Sith lords, some mysterious new Sith lords that follow the rule of two,
Hmm.
right? And we're gonna have one of them be cool and mysterious and like super powerful, and then the other one be his apprentice, Kylo Ren, who was Han Solo and Princess Leia's son, who was a Jedi but turned to the dark side. Like he was supposed to like bring back the Jedi Order, but
Hmm.
he didn't, right? because I actually really liked Kylo Ren's design and him like wanting to live up to like being a feared menace. I think is really cool. But he's like a failure of a Sith. Super dope.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, I definitely think that they could have done something different. I'm not exactly sure what, but I think they could have done something different to differentiate him from Darth Vader. Because when he is wearing the
Mhm.
mask and when he's talking and when he's acting, the only thing that's really different is that he like gets more physically upset than Darth Vader does.
Yeah.
I think that like they could have done something different to like differentiate him, but like I don't exactly know what.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Um, and I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like we'd still probably have Ray's storyline, although we'd probably rewrite her character a lot.
Yeah.
Because again, in the seventh movie, she was actually a pretty likable character. It was just by the eighth and ninth movie that it was then like, okay, what happened to her? Like this is
Yeah, she's like not the
even in the
same
seventh movie.
character. Yeah, she changes a
At all.
lot in the seventh movie. I feel like, you know, she
Not for the better.
yeah, she's like way too confident. And you know, like they're trying to go for like the strong female lead, which is like a thing these days, which is fine, but like make it realistic cuz she's from Jakku. I just looked it up by the way. Like just this
Jakku.
trash planet and she's a scavenger for her whole life. And so she just like scrimps and scrapes by and you know, she just kind of like lives under the thumb of the portions guy. I don't remember his name, but like she just sells scrap for portions and she's just like she's a bottom feeder essentially. So there's no reason why she should have like any amount of confidence in herself. That would be a very like interesting storyline to see how she grows and like becomes stronger and overcomes those like feelings of inadequacy. But no, it's like as soon as she gets a lightsaber, she's like, all right, like I can do anything. Like I'm the
I
greatest.
got this.
Yeah, it's like okay, cool, whatever, but also not that cool. I will say
Like
though,
I think it would be Oh, sorry.
no,
I think it would be cool if it was like she finds out she's a Jedi and she has like all these high expectations to fill and she's like all she knows how to do is like just run and survive. So like that's what she starts doing. Like she has all these responsibilities to like fight the new crime syndicate that's taking over and she's like "Huh, I'm not doing that and then like tries to run from the resistance or from the new republic trying to tell her like hey, you should fight these guys because we're
hmm
trying to make a new Jedi Order.
yeah, or like even
Um,
having them building up the new Jedi Order, like having Luke like actively training new Jedi, and you know building that like the new Jedi temple and stuff like that. You know that would be very interesting to see like how do you even do that? You just like how do you create this essentially brand new organization and like find people that are force sensitive and blah blah like that would be very interesting to have as like kind of a secondary plot.
yeah, not to mention just like also having just like adding the Mandalorian space western kind of spin on it as well. I think would make it super interesting.
Mm,
So we're gonna introduce a new bad faction to this trilogy, right? So pirates are attacking and raiding the New Republic and whatnot, and they got to fix that and find out who's at the head of it. But fractions of the empire still exist. Like they broke off and they're creating different groups. But Moff Gideon, yes, we're bringing Moff Gideon into this. He's one of the main bad guys, and he's trying to restore the fractions of the empire and he's also doing like raids on different planets and trying to bring the Empire back to its former glory. What do you think of that? And that's where we get the Finn is a deserter
yeah.
storyline. And we'd actually play into more of like, oh, we've got other stormtrooper deserters and like we'll have like oh my gosh, Finn is like reliving like past of what he had to do to like what he was ordered and commanded by Moff Gideon. And it's like it's terrible stuff, and he's trying to tell other stormtroopers like, "Hey, we need to desert as well." Because when he deserted, they did nothing with that storyline.
Yeah, like there could have been so much. The only thing we got from that, which was pretty cool, was like that super cool Finn with the lightsaber and like the freaking the the stormtrooper with the like electric like bully club or
Yeah,
whatever. That was a hype
that was
battle.
sick.
But yeah, that's literally all that we got from that. Like there's nothing else.
I don't know. Plus, the actor for Finn just kind of got destroyed just because he was such a big Star Wars fan, and his character just got absolutely neutered.
Yeah. They
I
just
felt bad for the guy.
yeah, like they had so much they could work with, but they were just like, "Oh, yes, Rey and Kylo are the only important characters in this movie, by the way." And Finn was like, "Oh, okay."
It's like, well, shoot, man.
It's like, darn it.
I liked Finn.
Yeah, he's like, he's
I
good,
I was
good.
I was really hoping he'd have a bigger part.
Yeah, I think so.
And and please, okay, here's the thing. I really don't like reoccurring villains when they had a super satisfying end to them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't bring back Darth Sidious. Don't bring back Darth Maul. Darth Maul wasn't in it, but like, if anyone says like, "Oh, bring back Darth Maul," no, he's dead. He should have died on episode 1, and yeah,
I think in Clone
right.
Wars, it was
So,
like it was interesting to have him as like be like part of the Sith, but then be like rejected by the Sith and still working like kind of as a Sith, but also not as a Sith, trying to overthrow the separatists to take over for himself. That was an
mhm.
interesting storyline, but he should have died that second time. Do not bring him back a third time so you can kill him in Rebels, so that you could have like
Dude, okay. I think that's where it got me. Like,
yeah,
okay, you bring him back for Clone Wars, whatever. I
like all
can
right,
I can
it's like a plot
turn a
twist, like
blind eye.
he got killed, but like he's alive now, and then they're just like, by
Yeah.
the way, he got killed. Oh wait, he's alive again. Like
It's
no.
like, you can't keep doing this to us. And then in Solo, oh no, he's back again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what? Like he's not even an important character in Solo. Just like leave him out of it.
Please. And like we could have done something like cool. Like, first off, Star Wars is a space adventure fantasy. It's space fantasy. Okay, it's a space adventure pulp action series. Let's keep it that way, okay? Like, yeah, we've got political intrigue going on and whatnot, but we need to focus on the misfit ragtag group of characters bumbling their way through adventures throughout the galaxy. And for goodness sake, please stop doing the nostalgic. Do you remember this random guy with the nutsack chin from episode 4 that told Luke Skywalker this itty bitty part and for the fetching Millennium Falcon, like, no one cares. Please. I also didn't yeah, as you can tell, I didn't like the nostalgia baiting
Yeah, I feel
as
like
well.
there was a ton of that. Just like
Like, "Oh, you remember this?"
I don't know. I feel like the if well actually no, I'm pretty sure they're already like confirmed to be making another Daisy Ridley Star Wars movie. Um but like I think they just need to dump the Skywalkers and focus on something else. Like
Like,
the
the
people
solos, I think that
that
would be sick.
would be sick to have just like a better like a better version of Solo. Like that would be fun. Also, an idea that I've had for a long time is exploring some of the old Republic stuff, because all we have on the old Republic is like
Mm.
video games and comic books and books. Like that's all
The
we've
video
got.
games aren't even canon, are they?
No, they're not. I mean,
Are they
they
canon?
no, I don't think so. They could be, depending on
Well, they're not Disney canon.
Yeah, exactly. Depending on how Disney decides to do their canon, but there's nothing on it. Like Disney has not really said anything about the Old Republic. But what do we want? We want like wars, and we want Jedi, and we want Sith fighting each other. That would be hype. That would be a very
That would be sick.
not necessarily to rewrite the sequels, obviously, because that would not be sequels. But it would be something else. Oh,
It'd be
also
prequel.
yeah, exactly. Something about the sequels that I really wish would have happened, and it's kind of funny because it comes from a very unlikely source. But have you heard of Star Wars Visions?
I have heard of Star Wars Visions.
Mhm.
I just remember that cool scene where that samurai Jedi just pulls out a lightsaber in the sickest manner, and I really like the different art styles that they did.
Yes, yes, yes. So for those who don't know, Star Wars Visions is like several different animation styles of non-canon Star Wars like adventures, right? And some are like very anime style, some are like more cartoony, but they're all animated, right? And so they're ridiculous as well. Like there's one where there's two like a Jedi and a Sith, or maybe two Sith fighting like on top of two Star Destroyers, and they're just like their lightsabers just get
Oh,
like
it's
super
so
huge,
cool.
and one of them has like a mace lightsaber, and he like smashes it into the like Star Destroyer and like blows it up, and it's kind of hype. It's really cool. But what I really
That was
liked,
ridiculous.
yeah, very ridiculous. But what I liked, the one piece I liked, was the idea of like a limited amount of force in the dark side, and how the Sith would compete with each other to kill each other so that their force could get stronger. It's like
Ah,
the reason why there's the rule of two is because the dark side of the force and the light side, obviously, is there's like a limited amount of it, and so the more Sith that there are, the less powerful that the Sith become. Which is why the Sith become the Sith, and why they're so much stronger than the Jedi, because the Jedi have just a tiny, tiny amount of the light side of the Force compared to the half of the dark side that each Sith and the Rule of Two have. And so in Star Wars
oh yeah.
Visions, there are like a bunch of scenes where there's this Sith guy going around just killing all the Sith members, like all of the weaker ones that he can get his hands on, just so that he can become stronger. So that would be very interesting, like for some Sith guy to just go around killing a bunch of Force sensitive kids, or like the remnants of Sith strongholds throughout the galaxy, and how the New Republic kind of responds to that. That would have been like a very interesting storyline subplot. Maybe not main villain, but like a villain in there. That would be like a very interesting thing, and would add a lot to the lore, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Not to mention, this also might be unpopular because the show didn't do too well, but they're doing a second season of it, making Star Wars like similar to Andor, because Andor was so good. Um, Now it was a lot slower paced, way slower paced.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. That's the reason it didn't do as well. But just having, I mean, I think that was a perfect encapsulation of like showing, like having an analogy of like politics in made up worlds, and how things escalate between like two rivaling factions and whatnot. I think uh and plus it just had a serious, like, pretty grim tone to it, and I really liked it. I was there for it. And then stop making stuff like uh um 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 like the Book of Boba Fett. Because let's
Yeah.
be honest, the Book of Boba Fett was, how many cameos can we fit in this can of worms?
Yeah, exactly. And a spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. It's been a long time, so like. But then this is the spoiler. But then they just bring back oh freak. I just had his name. The blue guy.
Was it Cad Bane?
Yeah, they just brought
Yeah,
Cad
Cad
Bane
Bane.
back for like 5 minutes, and then they kill him. It's like what? What?
No. Hang on, okay, I didn't finish the show because it was mad boring.
Oh, sorry, Jeremy. I spoiled it for you. I did say spoiler
No,
warning,
I don't.
but yeah,
Yeah,
they
I don't
just
care
they
about
they
spoilers.
literally bring him back for that gunfight, like the scene that you've probably seen already. And he's like, you see his
Yeah.
eyeball, and then his like little mask thing, and then he dies like in that scene. Then like 5 minutes later, he's dead. It's like what?
No
Like,
way.
dude, come on! Like, you gotta be kidding me, right? Cad Bane. You mean like one of the main antagonists of Clone Wars, Cad Bane?
One of the coolest bounty hunters.
Yeah, just dead. It's like, come on,
Wait, who
bro.
shot him?
I don't know. I don't remember. I didn't watch that far. I just know about it. But it's like,
Oh my gosh.
it's probably Boba Fett.
Probably.
We're gonna get
Or the
like,
Mandalorian, because we all know it was Mandalorian season 2.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, why'd they bring Grogu back? Again, have this pet peeve of being a writer, of just bringing back characters for nonsense reasons
Yeah.
after a really satisfying ending to them.
Mhm.
Like, because now we can't get as good of a satisfying ending unless Grogu just dies. Which may be for the best, but we're going to get a lot of hate for this episode anyway. Are we ready to wrap it up?
I think so, Jeremy.
Good, because I'm tired.
Me too.
But yeah, despite our little rant, we actually do love Star Wars. We wouldn't be talking about it and ranting about a franchise that we love if we didn't, well, love it.
Of course.
So all of these criticisms do come from a place of love. We don't want to see the entire franchise fall. We actually want to help it out. So, Star Wars team, please hire us as writers. We will fix the sequel trilogies. We'll just make those
We
non-canon.
definitely
And I
will.
think our story is going to be better. I can promise you that.
So much better. So much better.
But yeah, we're gonna get wrapping up. Hope you guys enjoyed. Please smash that like button. We don't even have a like button unless you go to YouTube. I forgot we're on YouTube now.
Nice.
Again, anyone can be a fitness influencer and anyone can be a podcaster. And that's it.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
You're definitely not going to be that good. Yeah, you can't do anything else, but you can become those two things. Anyway, we're going to wrap up. Hey, adventurer. Looks like you made it to the end of this episode. Again, we're so grateful that you listened to this project of ours. And hey, if you enjoyed, why not share your favorite episode? It helps us out, and when you hit share, you will always roll a natural 20 on your first roll. And to spice up the deal, we'll even give you a nice, juicy PR that you've always been dreaming of. Want to play a bigger part in the adventure? Follow us on Instagram at Natty Wonders. Send us your best gym talk slanders, and we'll review them on the show. Have a great day.